story from Crazy Crab Stories, Volume 1. The Magic Wishing Taxi by Shloka Banerji, age 9. Jane, the taxi driver, was propped up on her living room sofa, recalling the events of the day. It all started in the morning when she had been waiting for a passenger in her taxi. If you looked at Jane's taxi, you wouldn't believe that her taxi was one of a kind, or the fact that it was a magic wishing taxi. It was black and ordinary, with a faded orange sign at the top with the word taxi written in peeling letters. However, if you wished for anything while you were inside it, you would get it. It was a red taxi, and Jane took a lot of care of it. After a while, the sound of footsteps arriving told Jane that people were finally arriving on the quiet road. 3 people climbed into the back of the taxi, a man, a woman, and a small boy. The man asked in a clear voice, "Please can we go to Brighton Beach?" Jane nodded and started up the engine. The boy, who was only about 7, was playing a video game on an iPhone, presumably his mother's. "For God's sake, Harry, can you please stop that game?" said his mum, exasperated. "But I want to play," howled Harry, as his mum snatched the phone out of his hand. Harry turned his head away from his mum so he faced the window. "I wish I had a dinosaur as tall as the Shard with razor-sharp teeth," he wished, blinking back tears. Jane froze. Then they all froze, for there was a tiny egg on the floor. It was hatching. It was a dinosaur! Harry yelled in delight. Jane couldn't think. She was about to tell them all to exit, but Harry's dad shouted, "Everybody out!" They all rushed out of the taxi as the dinosaur started to grow at an alarming pace. They were all safely out and on the furthest footpath available before, boom! The taxi had burst, and the dinosaur had grown to the size that Harry had wished for. By now the dinosaur had stopped growing. It gave an almighty roar that sounded like an active volcano about to erupt. Harry, who had gone into a frenzy of mad excitement, said, "Mum, can I borrow your phone? I've got to take a picture of this." Before Harry's mum could say no, he had unzipped her handbag, taken her phone, didn't bother zipping the bag back up again, and started running to the dinosaur, with both his parents sprinting after him, shouting for him to stop. Harry ran into the street where the dinosaur was making cracks in the rough, rocky road. Then something surprising happened. The dinosaur disappeared into thin air. This shocked Harry and his family. When the family ran as fast as they could, they believed that magic was in the air. Jane went back to the place where her taxi had broken. She picked up the steering wheel and whispered, "I wish I could go back in time to 10 minutes ago when my taxi was working and driving." And lo and behold, she was in her taxi again, and the family was approaching. Jane drove away as fast as she could, and I don't blame her.